Hey,
Hey, hey everybody.
how's it going?
So today we're talking about collaboration stuff. Um, we're doing a Brett IPA. I think that's very cool. I think it's very daring, and I think the style is a little underrepresented. So I guess we can start. Like, where did you guys first have a Brett IPA? What are some of the IPAs that featured Brett in them that you first had? I guess.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I can say I remember very distinctly having Brett from Boulevard,
yep.
which is I guess it's actually a Brett saison, not IPA, although it's very hoppy.
Mhm.
And it could be classified either way. I guess from a yeast perspective, it has that yeast character. It's more like a saison, but I always really liked Tank 7.
Yeah.
It was a marvelous beer, and so when they did a breaded version of it. It was the first time for me anyway that the pure expression of that yeast was like really harmonious with everything else that was going on in the beer.
Hmm.
And just, it wasn't showy, or they're like in just like, oh, look, we're using Brett. It just rolled into the beer so well. And
Hmm.
I realized that, what a flavor it could be and how it could be used. And so for me, that was pretty formative.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Matt, how about you? What do you remember?
For me, it was Little Brett from Allagash.
Okay, cool.
So, if memory serves, I believe that was just Mosaic and Brett. And
Mhm.
paid a visit out to the brewery a couple of years back, and they were nice enough to give me a case to go. Hard to get on the plane ride home, so I just had to consume the whole thing in 2 days. So,
That's funny.
very, very fond memories of walking around Portland in the freezing cold, blistering February weather, and drinking a lot of Little Brett.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think it's a style that we all super love, and the ability for us to collaborate on is a really neat opportunity. Um, there are very fond memories I have of a keg that Mr. Mark Schultz put me in charge of when he was at Ithaca, a sixtel of Super Friends IPA that was for the Buffalo Brew Fest at the arena that year. That was like the hot ticket. Like everybody had to get
I
Super
remember that.
Friends.
Yeah.
That was a collab between Almagang, Captain Lawrence, Flying Fish, Southampton Public House, and Ithaca, obviously. What are the other two? Rayon Vert from Green Flash.
Oh yeah. Well, I
That
haven't thought of that beer in a long time.
I know. I just thought of it today. I was like, we got to talk about Brett IPA. That beer is just so stupidly good because it would just sit and it would just get better. It would just like the Brett would just completely take over the beer. Those beers got really foamy after a while.
Yeah, they did.
What else?
Wow, I'd not thought about that beer in a while,
Mhm.
and that was definitely a really good one. And that was at the height of Green Flash's like being Green Flash and just being
Right.
like that big deal West Coast brewery that broke out
Hmm.
and started distributing nationally.
The first time I ever paid $7 for a pint of beer was for a pint of Brett and I from Smutty Nose at Cole's. I think he got one slim of
Okay.
it. It was asinine to me that I had to pay $7 for 16 ounces of beer over
This
a bar. And I was like, what? But I did it.
Yeah.
And then I think they still make it today, but it's Raging Bitch from Flying Dog.
Flying Dog.
That's
Yeah.
been one of their leaders.
Yeah.
That's a Brett. That's something I haven't drank in probably
Hmm.
7 years. I'd never realized that at the time.
Yep.
It was Brett IPA.
Yeah.
In fact, now I feel like next time I'm at Wegmans, I'm probably going to look for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like there. I guess I don't know why, Matt. I think you're more in tune to this. Why would someone not want to make a Brett IPA? Is it cleanliness in the brew house? Is it wrangling a strange yeast?
I think Brett still kind of scares a lot of people. I think like brewers think of it like John Wick, like it can't be killed. I mean, it's just
Hmm.
you used to, proper sanitation kills it, just like sanitation will kill everything else.
Right.
There is the worry of, to your point, the transformative, abilities of Brett and its ability
Yep.
to really ferment all the way down, even the dextrins. So when you got a product on the shelves, there is the chance that if you're, what's terminal for 2 weeks could not be terminal in 2 months.
Sure.
Sitting at 70 degrees, it could end up fermenting some more. So with that in mind, we're gonna start off a little bit on the lower end of carb, just in case anybody does want to, hang on to this one for a while. You can really, enjoy it kind of as it goes through its, lovely Brett life. It'll start off as a little bit more tropical, and then a little more pineapple-y Brett to start. But as it kind of goes through its life and its phases, it'll come a little more funky with time.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're
truly, truly funky Bretts, but it will get a little bit more, traditional, what people think of as Brett character as time goes on.
So we're talking about the collaboration us at CBW and you at 42 North are doing. That beer is it has a name. It's called 25 Minutes or Less.
25 minutes or less.
Is I guess the purported commute time between our brewery to yours.
Also the amount of time it should take you to finish a pint.
Yeah. Realistically, it's the amount of time it seems to take to get to anywhere in Buffalo. I feel like you can get
that's true.
in Buffalo in 25 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's meant to highlight that that's exactly the case. Like, it's easy to think, and mentally, in a way, it's true. East Aurora seems kind of distant from Buffalo. It's bucolic and, whatever. But it's literally only 25 minutes away. So is everything. So is Niagara Falls. So is, Lockport. So is wherever you want to go. So
yeah. Matt, what does it say on your shirt?
I'm wearing a
Bonnaroo shirt.
Bonnaroo shirt.
nice.
Oh, okay. What year is that from?
I don't know, Zach. Can you tell me on the back what to say? I think it's 2013, maybe?
Okay.
2008, sorry. 2008. So this is a 12-year-old shirt. We'll be able to drink soon. Is that the
Nice. So, what kind of music would you listen to drinking a Brett IPA?
Ooh.
Probably right now, because I'm in love with them, the OCs.
Oh yeah.
Perhaps the Flaming Lips.
Cool.
How about you guys?
Ethan, I'll let you go first because I got to think on that.
The first thing that came to mind for me, for whatever reason, was Dead Can Dance. Like from that era before they turned into like world music, where they were still kind of combining electronic and Baroque kind of stuff.
Neat.
Yeah.
God, for me, I don't know. Maybe Do Make Say Think, just because they're amazing.
Amazing. Do they ebb and flow like the concourse of Brett character?
They do. They're super dynamic band and sprawling instrumental stuff that builds and builds and then drops and builds and drops and just.
There you go. And that's
I wanted to say something about the OCs. I have to look it up. John Dwyer from the OCs just started a super group with one of the guys from TV on the Radio.
Really? Give me a
hold on, let me pull it up really quick.
nice.
While
you do that,
I have it on a tab somewhere. Yeah.
What else is going on in this one, recipe wise?
Yeah, do that.
We threw a few ideas into that recipe, hops wise in particular. Some fun hops that are not broadly used quite yet. Well, I don't know. So some are. Centennial, for example.
Yes.
Yeah, like there was a time, I know Chris is laughing because I think for a good portion of, 2014 through 2016 or 17, there was a running joke where I said nobody uses Centennial anymore.
Also Chinook too.
Yeah.
Nobody uses Chinook anymore.
Yeah, but like then things changed. So why Centennial?
Yeah.
I think Centennial is great. It's versatile. It was, like you said, it was very popular 10, 15 years ago. The 3 C's, you had your Cascade, Chinook, and Centennial, and that was kind of the building blocks of everything that kind of became craft beer. And it kind of fell off for, your Citras and Galaxies, and now we're in this world of haze again, where people are kind of, I think, rediscovering these. I hate to say rediscovering, but getting back into these old hops that we initially fell in love with that kind of brought us here.
Right. So I recall Two Hearted is all Centennial, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. That to me was like, okay, this is pure Centennial expression.
Yeah.
It's-
Founders did Centennial, right? Like,
yeah, they have their Centennial IPA. Yeah.
and then Sabro,
Tell us about that.
weird hop.
Love that.
Yeah. Got a wide range of flavors, but concentrating on the tropical,
Mm-hmm.
fruity, a little bit of berry, which I remember the first hop that I ever had that had like berry flavor was Belma.
Hmm.
Strawberry.
Maybe 5 years ago we did Singularity Belma.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a collab even with I forget who. But I remember like being struck by the fact that it reminded me of the white inner part of a strawberry that's not as like crazy strawberry as strawberry flavor or artificial strawberry flavor. It was really more like the meat of the berry. And so it was sort of a very different kind of way of thinking about berry flavor instead of the bright fruitiness.
Mm-hmm.
The sort of the savory part even.
Yeah.
So cool hop. And then there's a third in there. What else?
Actually, to your point, Belma is the
There it is. Right.
Velma was a good,
Nice.
kind of echoes that the tropical and then the berry as well of the Sabro. So it just seemed to be the perfect little middleman to melt it all together.
Cool. What kind of gravity are we looking for?
So with it being a bread IPA, I've used this yeast a couple times, and it ferments down below 1 degree Plato. I think typically I've finished around like 0.84 or 0.7. So went for about 14 degrees Plato starting, aiming for about roughly high sixes, to 7% ABV.
Mm-hmm.
So with the fermenting all the way down, it's a little bit lower than you would think you would start at to get to that ABV. But with Brett, chewing through everything, we'll hit the final.
Matt, how many Brett beers have you ever made? Does it scare you? Does it excite you? Is it like this new frontier for you, or is it something you have history with?
It's something we've done a lot with here, with the barrel program especially.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I finally talked, Clay, the initial head brewer here. It took me a couple of years to kind of convince him to let me bring Brett to the brewery. Again, back to that whole boogeyman type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I did started off with an IPA here a couple of years ago called Three Amigos, which was a Brett blend, which is actually the same blend we're using for this one here. So it's 1 Brettanomyces and 2 Saccharomyces yeasts. So
cool.
Did that. That was really dank, mosaic, galaxy. Like just, I love that beer. It's prohibitively expensive in this day and age with Galaxy going for what it is, but it was a great thing for its place and time. But yeah, we use Brett here mostly for our long-term things. So we'll hit it with some saisons and stuff like that. But really just, keeping up on our best practices as far as CIP. We have Zach, our lab manager, who's, constantly checking on things to make sure there's no infection. And, knock on wood, our process has been pretty solid, and I have not had any issues to speak of thus far. But
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. So let's talk about new things going on at our respective breweries. I mean, just to give some people some insight onto what's happening. Ethan, why don't you give us an update on new stuff at CBW?
Well, we are in the process of releasing a couple more fruited variants of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some more of the mixed berry Goza going out for distribution this time. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Followed up as well by the first draft, I guess, if you will, of the lemon strawberry Goza. Also behind you. Yep. We've got some fruited variants of that IPA that are on the way. Or sorry, not of that IPA, of Let's Go Pills.
Yep.
So we're going to do one with yuzu and ginger.
Cool.
Yeah. And let's see, is there another version of that coming? There is.
It's the Meyer Lemon.
Meyer Lemon, that's right.
And we have new tanks. We got a whole bunch of new tanks coming online.
We installed 3 more 40-barrel tanks and 2 more 20-barrel tanks, all purchased from ABS. Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we can't wait to get those fully online and increase capacity a little bit more. And then having fun with the trio of 7-barrel tanks that we brought from the initial brewery. So
Yeah.
it allows us to divide a 20-barrel batch 3 ways pretty evenly and have fun. And yeah, that's turned out to be. I was skeptical, I won't lie, when Ryan was like, "We got to move those tanks down there. They'll be great. They'll be useful." I'm like, "Oh my God, it's going to cost us." I don't know how much it cost us to move them, but a lot. But it was the right idea, and we're making good use out of it. So we're having fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Matt, what about you guys? Are you
Yeah.
doing any sort of build outs, new expansions? We know of stuff happening,
Well,
we need you to particularize it, itemize it.
Yeah, the expansion from last year. So the Airbnb units. We got our candy line back in October. So that's pretty much the only physical expansion. We got a 40-barrel bright as well to go with one of our tanks. Been pushing, to your point, Ethan, about getting some 7 barrels in here so we can do just what you guys are doing. Really kind of open up the ability to split batches. That's a great thing. Really giving you guys the freedom there.
Yeah.
As far as new stuff coming out, we're gonna have it's back to what you guys were saying with the fruit. It's getting warmer, so that's kind of what everyone's looking for. So we have a pineapple version of our Walloon Wit coming out. We're gonna have a new Goza with pineapple and cherry. We'll have a new double IPA coming out. I believe that's early July. That one is going to be Citra HBC 472, which is actually sister to Sabro, but it's supposed to be a little bit more coconutty, a little like wood age thing going on with that one.
Cool.
But yeah, other than that, just opening up the Borderland factory, and we've got our new seltzer actually coming out.
Wow.
It'll be dropping in about a week and a half, somewhere in that range.
Nice.
So it should be probably right about now-ish, given the
yeah.
Are you guys going to package that?
Yeah, that's actually what we're going to do. 12-ounce cans should be available here, and I believe we're going to hit up some bottle shops and other local shops there. So that should be available, countywide. But that one is all real fruit, no artificial flavors, artificial fillers. It's tart cherry, red raspberry, blackberry, and then a copious amount of hibiscus.
Oh, cool.
But we did it. It's not gluten free, so anyone who's looking for a gluten free seltzer, sorry, you're gonna have to look elsewhere. We kind of stayed true to our roots, and it is a malt based seltzer.
Yeah.
So still coming in about 100 calories, 4% ABV, but it is not gluten free. But we didn't need to sell our soul to make it.
Right. Yeah. Got it.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, by the time people are watching this, I'm hopeful that 25 minutes will be on the shelves. We're looking at 4-pack, 16-ounce. It is under the guise of the 42 North aesthetic. We are not playing the brewer, so I guess the house that brews it gets to design it too.
Yeah.
So that's how it's always gone.
You guys make great labels, and it's cool. Mm-hmm. It's cool to be a part of that too. And you'll see. I don't know if we have a version of the label to throw up here, or when you edit it, we can do that. But it's a cool label.
We do.
I do.
Cool.
I can do a screen share quick.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I dig it, and it illustrates the point, obviously, and I think that's cool. So
yeah.
You can use that as a map to get yourself from one brewery to the next.
Yes.
Now,
in case
originally for the release, we were gonna hire a bus and do a release event at both breweries with a bus trip between the two, so people can kind of go to both places. So with that in mind, we'll have to consider a rebrew at some point down the road. And make good on that concept, because the concept was good.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm going to share my screen right now quickly.
Yeah, let's see it.
Host disabled attendee screen sharing. Uh-oh.
We don't want to get Zoom bombed here.
Oh, who's this? Who's showing his face? Hi, Zach.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's see.
If you go to maybe security, see if that. There you go.
All right, let's take a look at this label.
Wait.
Share.
Ta-da!
Ta-da.
Look at that. How many times have you zoomed down the 400? Now, I'll ask you because I can see what you did there, getting off at Main Street and coming in from the east. I usually get off on Maple because I'm eager to get off the 400 and start, driving. And so I'll head straight south, right into town off Maple.
Nope. I'm right there with you, Ethan. Get off at Maple and I shoot through the back roads.
That still takes about 25 minutes or less.
Oh yeah,
We're going to test this now. We'll
good either way. When we were still self-distributing and I was driving the van out there for Elm Street Bakery and Aurora primarily, I came to know that route quite well. I will also say there was one time once in my life, and I won't even tell you when or how recently or anything, that I was in my dad's new car. It's a fairly high-end car. And I was like, I wonder how fast it really can go. I see what the speedometer says, but is that real? And it turns out it was. It was the most comfortable 140 miles an hour I've ever driven.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's
For all of about 10 minutes. And then I'm like, all right, well, I got away with that.
yeah. Yeah. So we don't have to talk too long, but Matt, what are you doing in your world to keep you busy in warm weather land? Other than brewing.
A lot of yard work, trying to get the house up in order, trying to get every project I could possibly come up with for the summer done before
The summer?
before summer actually hits us proper. So
Yeah.
that way I won't have anything to do but kick back and enjoy in theory.
Yeah. Cool.
How about you guys?
Same old, lot of housework. When I can, make it down to where I can, go fly fishing, just get out on the water as much as I can, go walleye fishing, play golf, do all sorts of musical activities because that is something I'm sorely missing right now. Haven't been able to get together with my close musical partners to play any sort of music lately. So
That's rough.
hope to do that.
Audience people too.
And hope to see live music. So I just need to digest some sort of live music, be it playing or going to see. I think there's going to be a lot of backyard concerts this summer, which I wish there were more than I'm hearing about now, because I think that's how you're going to actually be able to experience live music this summer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff being talked about right now. So,
For sure.
Ethan, how about you? What are you doing?
I got the family side of things, so trying to keep the kids from killing one another is a big part of my charge.
Yep.
And as they transition from they would still be in school,
Yeah.
but soon enough they would be in various kinds of summer activities that are also now all canceled. So I got another many months of trying to figure out how to keep them from killing one another.
Yeah.
Or me from killing them, depending on the day.
Well, here's a secret. Beer helps. And I think that's general.
Okay. I'm
Beer
about
helps.
ready to just
Yeah.
start drugging them.
God.
We got blowguns early on in the pandemic. And so I feel like with the right agent on the dart, I could make this a lot easier.
Get a couple tree frogs, work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've planted some garden stuff, and we're taking more care of the outside of the house than we have for years because we've got the time, and that's
Mhm.
nice. I mean, I'm sure the neighbors think it's nice. And yeah, just trying to take it a little bit easier, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's not carry this on too long, but
25
forthcoming.
minutes or less, right?
Yeah, 25 minutes or less. Forthcoming a Brett IPA collaboration between Community Beer Works and 42 North. I somehow became the host or moderator for this, but maybe it needed one. Maybe it needed one because otherwise we would just sit in silence, and that would be really boring for everybody.
It never hurts.
Cool.
Well, I'll sign off by saying, hey, it was a lot of fun to collaborate on the recipe design. But thank you for doing the execution. Normally I would have at least, spent some time down there, done the ceremonial grain out or whatever, but appreciate that you guys, put your backs into it. But it was fun to plot and scheme with you and with Hannah on recipe stuff and come up with something. And I'm anxious to taste it. Yeah, I think it's going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I look forward to this all being over and us being able to share a pint in a proper collab.
Yeah.
So if I reach over this way, I can't really, I don't know where you are on the screen that's being recorded. So maybe we can.
I'd have to go down, go up and to the left. I think would be.
You're down.
Oh, there we go.
You're right there. Matt's over there.
We're just trying to give a virtual high five.
Okay.
Somehow.
Here we go.
I'm in a box right now.
Yeah, it's tough.
All right.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Have a good one. Peace out, everybody.
Yep. We don't have to say goodbye, but we could just stop recording.